We have some major breaking news that I'm going to go over right now with you guys. It's coming to us from the great state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin, one of the battleground states. Headlines: Wisconsin, unauthorized use of federal voter registration form violates state law. Now, before I read this to you, I want to remind you where Professor Toto has always stood on the 2020 election. I've always told you from the beginning, the very beginning, that the 2020 election, had it not been for COVID-19, then there would have been no changing of the rules for the election. Let me just reiterate. Many of you already know this because you're faithful students. Some of you may not. In order to fill out an absentee ballot in America, every state's a little different, nuances, but pretty much you have to make a choice to wake up, get dressed, go down to the courthouse, and abide by whatever obligations are of necessity to cast a mail-in ballot. For example, if you're indefinitely confined, that means you're in a nursing home, or you just cannot get out of bed, you're dying, but you still want to vote, then you can do a mail-in ballot. If you are working at the polls that day, you can do a mail-in ballot. If you're in active duty military and you're going to be, not able to attend, you can get a mail-in ballot. You sign your name on the affidavit. You vow under penalty of perjury that you have met those redeeming qualifications. All right. Now, most people, let me take that back. A lot of people in America don't want to get up and go to the courthouse because they got warrants down there, and or they're on probation, or they're on parole, or they're whatnot. They just don't want to go down to the courthouse and see the popo. So anyway, so they don't even go. You have another group of people just too lazy to do it. So therefore, we're able to have some fair elections. We're able to go by the rules. All right. You already know that what happened with COVID. And by the way, if you have not watched my teaching called The Calculated Creation of COVID-19, the calculated creation of COVID-19, you need to watch that. And it will help you to understand why COVID was created in the first place. And let me just show you how to find that. Go right here to FHTV and type in the word calculated. There it is right there. Hit enter, and it's going to pull up for you right there. The gig is up. The calculated creation of COVID-19. The gig is up. So anyway, if you go back and watch that lesson, make sure you watch Obama's bloody footprints right after you watch that one. And it'll bring all the missing pieces together for you, because that's what we do here at the Conservative College. I'm Professor Toto. What does Toto do? Toto goes to the curtain of lies and jerks back the curtain and reveals the truth to you. So anyway, in those lessons, I taught you why COVID was calculatedly created and the purpose of what it did in the election. Every Democrat I know, every liberal I know will confess to you that were it not for COVID, Donald Trump would still be sitting in the White House. Now, so my point is, I always told you, if we can get in a court of law, we will be vindicated. We won't sound like a bunch of conspiracy theorists. We won't sound like a bunch of fruitcakes if we can ever get in a court of law and show what happened. And tonight, I told you so. Oh, I told you so. Ladies and gentlemen, in the state of Wisconsin, you have been vindicated. I have been vindicated. Let's go take a look at that ruling that came down today in the state of Wisconsin. Today, there was a tremendous win for Wisconsinites, and it sends a strong message to bureaucrats who disregard the rule of law. What have I taught you? The difference in a democracy is the rule of the people, whereas in a republic, it is the rule of law. And we told you that's what happened in 2020. The rule of law was absconded and ignored, and secretaries of state took the place of state legislatures, and now they're being called to account. Let's read this article. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's from the Federalist. I'm going to pull it up so you can see it on your screen, and we'll read it together. You have been vindicated. Headlines: Wisconsin, unauthorized use of federal voter registration form violates state law. Fraud vitiates everything. Now, what does it mean, unauthorized use? Only the state legislature, and we'll go back and read the article in a second, only the state legislature can determine the rules for voting. Only the state legislature, not the secretaries of state. The law must be obeyed for the votes to be valid. So again, let's go back and let's see what the court said. The Wisconsin Election Commission illegally, oh, I love that word, illegally used a form that was not authorized in accordance with state law to do what? To register new voters. A state court ruled on Tuesday. I told you so, over and over and over. I told you so, over and over and over. I told you so. I told you what was illegal was the forms that were used. They changed the rules in the middle of the game. Writing for the Waukesha County Circuit Court, Judge Michael Maxwell ruled that the WEC, which is the Wisconsin Election Commission, did not properly authorize the use of the National Mail Voter Registration Form to register new voters by mail. They broke the law. Ladies and gentlemen, we told you that 3 years ago. It's taken that long for a court of law to tell us what we always knew. Now, it is unfortunate that time and time again, Wisconsinites have to go to court to force state agencies to do what? Follow the law. Today's win is a tremendous victory for Wisconsinites and sends a strong message to bureaucrats who disregard the rule of law. Now, my question, you have just ruled that every vote that came in on one of those forms was illegal. Fraud vitiates everything. Illegal means fraudulent. What happens? Now, folks, now do you understand why we said to Mike Pence, hold off, wait, hold everything. Let Wisconsin take out those votes that are illegal and send the new results within 10 days to the Senate. And then you vote for president. I mean, really, folks, do you not see that we are completely 100% vindicated? Judy Colson, that's the $1 million question. What will become of it? That's the $1 million question. We know that a court has ruled the votes are illegal. Mike Pence knew they were illegal. He is a traitor. So, folks, we have a court ruling that says what we always said.